Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Beckrell, also known as Sound Tunes, and I'm an artist, music producer, mixing and mastering audio engineer here from Lagos, Nigeria. For those of you just seeing me here for the first time, guys, you're welcome, and I'm honored to have you here on my own channel. Basically, this channel is all about music production, mixing and mastering, and the music business in general. So if that sounds like something that's of interest to you, feel free to like, hit the subscribe button down below, and don't forget to turn on the post notification bell icon so you get notified anytime I have a new content up here. So without further ado, guys, let's jump straight into it. Basically, today I just want to take you guys through the general basics of FL Studio interface. Okay, so here we are today in FL Studio, and basically I have a script down here, so don't mind me in case I'm looking down, you know what I'm saying, guys. It's just to help me stay on point and help me deliver it right on point. So the general interface overview, this is the playlist. Okay, this section over here, this is what is called the playlist, and here is basically where you do the arrangements, where you arrange your music, everything you're going to produce. This is where you do the arrangement. Basically it goes down, you know what I'm saying, guys. So this is the playlist, it's called the playlist. And one thing about FL is there's this hints bar here, hints panel rather. Anything you're on, it will show you like the section, any point at time it will show you that section, and anything you scroll on, it will tell you what that thing exactly is. So that's one benefit of using FL Studio. You get the hints bar. And we have the file section over here, file, and this is basically where you get to set up a new session, new from template. If you have any template you want to use, open an existing project or an old project of yours, save as, save new version, save as templates, import, export, and this is like a section where you see your recent files, whatnot. Edit, this is basically undo playlist, delete, cut, copy, paste, and you can see the shortcut keys over here. Okay, add, this is basically where you pick up your generators, your sound generators, and all of that, guys, all the instruments you're going to use, all the pianos, all the keyboards, all the saxophones, the strings, whatever you want to use to produce your music. And these are patterns. This is where you edit the patterns that you created, okay, and manipulate them one way or the other. View, this is where you select what gets to be shown on the playlist or on the general interface of FL Studio. As time goes on, guys, we'll get more into the intricate things that FL can do. Okay, we have options. This is where you are provided with the option of setting up the MIDI settings, audio settings, general settings, file settings, theme settings, manage plugins, project general settings, project info, debugging log, all these things. And tools, this is another layer of settings again, where you get to control so many things and others. Help section, okay, this is where you get to get the information about your FL, the version of your FL, and this is where you basically purchase and do some upgrades and other things. And also, if you have trouble with FL, you can also contact the support team, and as you can see, we have support forum here, knowledge base, and other things. Yeah, so basically the next part we are going into is the transport section. This part here, guys, this is what is called the transport section. This part here, this is the transport section, actually, where you have pattern selector and song selector, pattern and song selector. And basically this switches between the patterns and the playlists. Okay, so here you have play. Should in case I play, you know, play pause, yeah, that's just what it does. And stop, basically this takes it back from the top. Okay, should in case I'm playing and I play stop, it will take it back to the top. Okay guys, and we have record. This is where you hit the record button, you know, if you want to record an audio into playlist, your notes, automation, audio into editing, which we'll get into all of that guys as time goes on. That's why I said if you are new here, feel free to subscribe to the channel. Okay, more information will be coming guys, so stay tuned. This is your BPM, also known as the tempo guys, and this basically determines the speed at which your project plays. You understand? It determines how many beats gets to be in a bar. You understand guys? The higher the BPM, the faster the track plays, the lower, the slower the track plays. That's just everything about BPM guys. So we have metronome. This is metronome, and as you can see, once I click here, as you can see on the hint bar, it shows what that thing is. Metronome guys, and this helps you to stay on time, to stay on rhythm. You know what I'm saying guys? It basically locks you into a grid. Okay, should in case I'm playing now, this metronome is also telling me the speed at which my project will be playing, as you can hear. Okay, this actually is a configuration of where you want to start playing on your MIDI keyboard, and the project will also start playing at the same time. So once you select it, if you play your MIDI controller, yes, it will also trigger the project to start playing at the same time. So I do tend to put this off, and this is 3, 2, 1. This is actually a pre-count. Okay, it helps you stay prepared before you get into the recording parts of your project, you know, because most of the times if you just hit record and start straight up, you know, you might get caught up and all of that. So it helps you stay on time and all of that guys. So the next thing we have is overdub. And overdub is actually like, if I record something down here, should it be I record something down here and I want to record on top of that same recording again. That's what overdubs. You understand? It helps you blend in recording on top of recording. You know what I'm saying? So at times it can be useful, at times it cannot be useful, depends on your need. So generally I do tend to put it off because I don't usually use that. You know what I'm saying guys? And we have loop recording. So you can make a song selection and loop the recording, loop a section and record, so it will keep on looping. You know what I'm saying guys? Circling from the back to the front, from the back to the front. So the next thing is keyboard, typing keyboard to piano keyboard. Should in case you don't have a MIDI controller, let me show you what a MIDI controller is. This is a MIDI controller guys. You can see this is an Akai MPK Mini. This is my MIDI controller. So in case you don't have something like this that you want to be using for your production, you can also use your computer keyboard or your laptop keyboard, you understand? Or if you have a desktop keyboard, anything you have, rather, if you turn it on, select this, and you can be able to play your notes using your keyboard. Okay, so that's just the work of that. And this is scroll to reach time markers. As I'm playing, let's say I put this on the song selection mode. As I'm playing, this is what we call the scroll. Was it scroll? Yeah, scrolls, rather, scrolls. Yeah, so this is just the scrolls guys. Step editing mode. Basically I don't use this. I don't find myself using that at all, and I don't even know what that does guys, to be sincere with you. I don't even know what that does, you know. And enable note clip groups. This enables you to group up clips and groups. That's just what that does. And multi-link to controllers, this helps you to configure a setting or learn a function on your control surface or MIDI controller or mixer. Anything, guys, anything. You can configure faders, you can configure knobs, and FL will learn it. Yes, it's very smart. So the next part that we have here is this pattern playlist quantize settings, and generally I do tend to put it on beats. Yeah, put it on beats. So this is your pattern selector, guys, and this is your project timer. This helps you to select the time. If you want the time measurement to be in bars, if you want it to be in minutes, seconds. Yeah, I do tend to work with this minutes, seconds, so I get to see how long my project is in minutes. You understand? Because basically you are producing, your song will be in minutes, so I do tend to work with that. And this is your audio wave meter. This shows you the wave. As you can see, as this metronome is hitting, this is the wave of that metronome. You understand? And this is the headroom meter. This basically gives you an indication of where your headroom is hitting, and the headroom is basically where the difference to unity, yes, the difference to unity, that's headroom, guys. Headroom is also unity, 0 decibels. You understand? 0 dB. That's, you've maxed out your headroom, because the highest you can go is 0 dB. Anything above that, you are clipping the signal, and you'll be getting digital distortion and clipping, which sometimes might be good, sometimes might not be good. So, and anything you want to do generally, music, anything, your master is supposed to be at unity, that's 0 dB. So you have to control the headroom, guys. So this is the playlist. As you can see, if I select it, I'm using the left click, guys, to go between this. This is the pattern playlist selector, view playlist rather, and this is your piano roll. Okay, we'll get into all of this much later, guys. This is the piano roll, and this is where you configuring your MIDI. You can draw in some notes, or if you play with your MIDI controller, this is where you see those notes or melodies which you played, or chords rather, anything you played. This is where you get to see it. Okay, and we have the channel rack, guys. This is where you program and basically playing some percussions, drums. You do with this select add new channel, you can basically add your generators, sound generators, your pianos, your keyboards, anything of that matter, guys. This is the channel rack, guys, and on the channel rack here, as you can see, we have the panning. This is the panning, guys. I can decide to play this kick right now. Let's say if I pan it, you hear it only on the left. Pan it to the right, hard right, hard left, hard right, and if you press alt and left click, it brings it back to reset, which is center. Okay, normally you would want to have your kick down the center in mono. Okay, you don't pan your kick left and right. No, don't do that. So this is the channel gain. Okay, this is gain, guys. Some people call it volume, but to me it's gain actually. And this is where you start your pre-mix even before you get down to the mixer. Okay, this is where you do your pre-mix to get your levels right and to have a nice headroom. If I reset this, you can see it's hitting harder and it's taking a lot of headroom. Okay, so by the time you start using the channel gain, you'll be able to control the headroom much more better, guys. And the same thing applies all over to this. This is the panning and this is the channel gain, guys. And this is where you get to send this channel to a particular mixer track. The kick, as you can see, is going down to mixer channel 1. The clap is going to mixer channel 2. Hi-hat is going to mixer channel 3. Snare is going to mixer channel 4, guys. This is just it. And this is the step sequencer. These are the steps. This is where you get to put the steps in. Okay, you see, these are steps, guys. You get to configure your step and all of that. You know what I'm saying, guys? So let's get this out of the way first. For now, I'm just showing you for illustration purposes. And what again, guys? Main swing. This is where you add swing. You don't want it to be perfectly on grid. You can add small movements, move it offset, rather. It's more of offset, moving it off the grid by little. Don't do it much, guys. You can just maybe anything from 10 to 15, 5 to 10 to 15%, guys, to 20. Anything more than that, guys, I suggest you are doing it too much. So the pattern length is where you extend the pattern length, and a graph editor, you can be able to increase the velocity here. You see, this is the velocity. You can fine tune, you can pan, all sorts of things, guys, as you can see. Same thing over here. It's the same thing that applies on the channel, but this is more like another way of doing it, So I'll reset this. It should be down the middle. Okay, so what again do we have, guys? We have interactive step sequencer, piano roll view. Well, we'll get into more of these, guys, as time goes on. Okay, so this is after the channel rack. We have the mixer, and the mixer is basically where you get to do all of your arrangement, guys. Okay, this is where you bring in all of those instruments, individual drums, all of those things on the playlist. This is where they get sent for general processing and effect processing and mixing. That's mixing in general. Effects processing and balancing, yeah. So you use the mixer for that, for balancing it out, balancing the mix, which is the interaction between the different layers of the instrument. You use the mixer to balance it out, pan them, and all sorts of things. As you can see, this is a pan up. The same thing that applies on the channel rack, but this is on the mixer. Okay, so this will be, I guess this panning will be post fader. Yes, this panning should be post fader, rather. So that will be after the fader, I guess. And but again, on the mixer, this you can solo. So as you can see, if I solo only this channel gets to be shown. And this is the panning, as we said earlier. This is reverse polarity. You don't need to worry about this much for now, guys. As time goes on, you get to understand what polarity is. And swap left and right channels, don't worry about that also. And this is stereo separation. This is where you get to make a sound more wider or more narrower, that is down the middle, more focused down the middle. Okay, and basically when you turn it 100% merged, that is mono. Okay, and when you have it by the right here, separated, that is stereo. You have stereoized the signal. Okay, so that is that, guys. And here we have the arm disk recording. Should in case I want to record, as you can see, this channel that I'm using to talk through the mic is already armed. So when you arm it, that gives you the opportunity to use that particular mixer channel to receive a signal from your audio interface or whatsoever. Get? And this is delay track latency, and this you get to off or on. Let's say eventually let's say I have parametric EQ2 over here. So you see I can be able to disable the effect just by one click. I don't need to go to the mixer and to the effects channel. I don't need to go down there to start disabling them one after the other. I can just come here and enable and disable it one time. And as you can see, basically the individual channels, each of these channels, you can see a green wire coming down and into the master, guys. Coming down, each of these channels, they are all routed to the master. And FL basically has FL basically has 125 mixer channels, okay, with the exceptions of FL25 and so yeah, FL24, 25. I think those ones they have more because this is FL21, guys. So this is 125 channels, and basically you can use that to do any sort of job, guys. Okay, so all these channels, they are all routed to the master, and the master is where you put in your general master effects. This is for which will be for mastering. When you hear master recording, they are referring to the master, and this is what we mean by the master. This is the general. It is the channel that intercepts and interacts with all the other channels. It groups them, you understand, it houses them. That's the channel that encapsulates all the channels on the mixer. Okay, on some other doors you have it as stereo out, but FL calls it master, guys. So that's master, and we have current track, and the current track is basically where you put in your effects like analyzers, room correction plugins, all sort of things, guys. So and they give out the same reading. If you want to see the exact reading, as you can see, the current track holds these numbers up here, so you can be able to see. As you can see now, my voice is picking out, I guess, 21, above 21 a little. Yeah, so as you can see, that's basically the mixer channel, guys. And you can be able to configure, let's say this channel, you can turn the waveform view, and you can turn it also into this is a waveform view, and you can also turn it into levels. You want to be seeing the levels. Okay, you can see if I click again, it changes into waveform view. And this effects panel here, over here, each of these channels, they have their own effects panel slots, which is containing 10 slots, guys. 10 slots. Each of the channels, it has 10 slots for effects. Okay, which will be where you apply your effects like EQ, compression, all sort of things like that, guys. So basically, guys, we can configure this mixer. As you can see, I'm changing how the display is. You can basically change how you want your mixer to look like in FL Studio. Okay, wide. And should it be that we want to bring that effect slot to the left hand side, guys. I think is this. So the effect slot is over here now. If you want to disengage it, you can take it back, come back to this section. No, I guess it's still here. View, track inspector on left side, uncheck it and it will be back to the original place where it was, guys. So this is where you put in your effect slot, remember, guys. And this is the general overview of the mixer in FL Studio. This is the browser section. If you have samples, you know, you want to pick out samples, not only samples, guys, plugins, you can also pick out plugins from here too, guys, and so many other things. This is the browser, okay, or library in some other doors. Project picker, okay, this is the project picker, guys. You can also select plugins from there at the same time, okay, as you can see. So this is the tempo tapper. Yes, tempo tapper. Should it be you have a song playing in your DAW and you don't know the tempo, you can basically tap and it will tap to the beat of the song playing, okay, and you basically find your tempo, guys. Okay, guys, that's tap tempo. What do we have again? I guess this is our headroom. This is our CPU monitor usage, guys. As you can see, we just use 3% of our CPU because we are not doing much right now actually, and 302 MB of our RAM is being used at the same time too, okay. So basically that's FL Studio for you guys. And so let's make a small pattern beat, by the way. Let's see. Hi-hats. I just drew that in using the left click and drag. Here's our snare. Not much, guys, but just for illustration purposes, you know, you can get to drag the pattern. As you can see, this is just the pattern playing. So by the time I switch this to song, as you can see, it will start playing what's on the playlist here. And you can duplicate this by pressing Ctrl B if you're on Windows. On Mac is Command B, guys. 8 bars, okay. This is just 8 bars, and these numbers here, these are the bars, guys. 1 bar, 2 bars, 3 bars, 4 bars, 5 bars, 6 bars, 7 bars, 8 bars, okay. And always for the bars again, guys, 1 bar ends at the start of 2, 2 bars ends at the start of 3, 3 bars end at the start of 4, 4 bars end at the start of 5, 5 bars end at the start of 6, 6 bars end at the start of 7, 7 bars end at the start of 8, 8 bars end at the start of 9. So you might see this and say it's 9 bars. No, it's 8 bars. That was why I just explained that just now. Okay, so you get it straight. And what next guys? So this pattern, this on pattern, and on the channel rack, as you can see, all of these, they are just on one pattern, and sometimes you might want to have them on separate patterns, guys. So to kindly do that, you just have to delete this, and to do that, you right click. You can right click and swipe through. They are all gone. Right click here on this pattern 1, come down to split by channel, and now we have the individual tracks here, guys, and we can also drag them back. I just held down shift to be able to select all of these. Select one, then come down, hold shift and left click, which I just dragged over here, guys. So as you can see now, each of these is on a separate pattern, as you can see. The kick is on its own, clap is on its own. We can solo it. Okay, only kick, clap, hi-hat, snare. Nice one, guys. So what next am I supposed to Now we are going into this section, guys, so you guys get to understand the functions of these tools over here. Here we have the draw tool, okay, and with the draw tool I can be able to, with the pattern selected, any pattern that you have selected here, you can be able to draw it in. You can see this clap. If it's on kick, if I left click, it will be kick that will pull up on the playlist here. So that's basically the function of the draw tool. And also in the piano roll, you can use it to draw in your notes. We have paint. The same thing applies. You can be able to paint out notes. Select clap, paint out clap, hi-hat, paint out. Remember, left click and drag, guys. Left click, drag. You can see. Crazy. You know what I'm saying, guys? So if you want to delete, right click, swipe through, left, right click and drag at the same time. That is paint, delete, which I believe is self-explanatory, guys. We have the mute, in case I miss some of these notes, you can see. You'll see the function. So that's the mute tool. We have sleep tool. This has to do with audio, guys. We'll get much with that tool later on. We have cut or scissors tool, slice. They call it different names, guys, but you can call it scissors, cut, slice, anything. And basically this helps you to cut out, when you press on the shift key on your keyboard, you can be able to make specific cuts based on grid selections, guys. Okay, as you can see, hold down shift and you'll be able to cut or slice based on grid. And when you hold down the alt key, you can be able to make the selection, the slicing slanty anyhow you want it, you know, diagonal, this way, that way, you know. But when you hold down alt and shift at the same time, guys, you are able to cut any point, at any point you can be able to cut. Okay, so that is that for the cut tool, guys. And we have select tool. The select tool helps you to make a selection. Okay, you can also select even without going to the select tool by coming over here and pressing on your control or command key if you're on Mac. Okay, control or command key, you'll be able to make selection even though you're not on the select tool, guys. And we have zoom. this helps you to zoom in. Okay, nice one guys, nice one. And we have playback. Okay, as you can see, that is that for that guys. Play pause song. Okay, and this playlist arrangement, you can be able to make arrangements, clone your arrangements, you know, delete arrangements, all sort of things guys. So that is that for these tools guys. And the next one that we have is, okay, routing. So should it be all of these tracks that we have kick, claps, hi-hat and snare. Let's say we want to have them on the mixer guys. You have two options of routing your tracks to the mixer. You either press command L, okay. The reason why I don't like using this command L most of the times on my own computer, but you can try it, but most of the times it kind of puts everything on one channel for me. So rather, instead of doing that, I will kind of use this, come down to channel routing and route selected channels from this track, starting from this track. So now you can see each of those channels is on a separate mixer track, and you can see kick is on mixer channel 1, clap on mixer channel 2, hi-hat on channel 3, snare on channel 4 guys. And this is where you get to manipulate, you know, you can lower the volumes, do all sorts of things, pan them, you know what I'm saying guys. So the possibilities are endless guys. To reset all of these things, just hold down alt key, alt and left click, and it will return back to the original position guys. Okay, so when you select a particular mixer channel, this is where you add in those effects to it to process it. Okay, all again. So as you can see, the kick is going into the master. I can decide to unplug it. You see, it's going back there. The clap, the same thing too. So all those things, they are routed to the master guys. What next? We have options, overview, options. So this is where you configure your tools guys. Should it be you have your MIDI controller, this is where you see it and you enable it. Okay, audio settings, so most of the times I do tend to use Scarlett, okay, because I'm using Focusrite as my audio driver. But if you don't have that, you can use the primary sound driver or built-in audio or Astro driver. Okay, but for Mac it's automatic, you don't need any driver, it's plug and play. That's one thing that I like about using Mac. Okay, it doesn't stress you, you don't need to download all of those drivers and programs. And this is your sample rate: 44,100 hertz, 48,000, 88,200, 96,000 and 192,000. So the higher the value of this sample rate guys, the larger the size of the file and the higher the quality. Okay, but generally speaking, these are the two industry standards guys. You just have to check which of these works best for you. Okay, and as for me, with my computer, I'm using this 44,100 hertz or 44.1 kilohertz. That's the sample rate I'm using guys. So the buffer length. When I'm producing, I normally use the 512 samples, okay? But when you are mixing, you might want to max this out, guys. You can max as you can see now, as I'm talking, there's latency. But by the time you reduce this, the latency is now less compared to before. You can hear me on time, okay? Yeah, and when you have this too low again, guys, you start having some crackling. You can hear that crackling. So you want to find a middle ground, okay? Find a middle ground where you can operate, guys. At times when I'm recording, I usually use 64, 128, or 256. Let's see 64. 2 milliseconds, as you can see. You can even hear me, and the latency is less compared to before. Let's use 128. 3 milliseconds, guys. You can see 256. 6 milliseconds, okay? So guys, generally speaking, I do tend to work with 512 when I'm producing, even when I'm recording at times. But when I experience some kind of latency, I do go down to 64. But when I'm mixing, I do max this out, guys, because I don't want any crackling and all of that. And latency is basically the delay or the time it takes for you to hear yourself, for your audio signal to go into your microphone, to your audio driver, to your computer, and back into your headphone. That's what we call latency, the time it takes, okay? That delay, that's what we call latency. And at times you might be playing your notes or with your MIDI keyboard. When you strike the key, it takes time before you hear it. That's latency, guys. So you want to come down here and set it to a considerate level where you can be able to work comfortably, okay? So that is that for buffer length or buffer size. These settings, I tend to use multi-threading, all of this, smart disable, okay? Smart disable helps you disable plugins that you're not using at a current point in time, okay? And we have mixer 24-point sync. Yeah, the higher you go with these, guys, the higher the consumption of your system resources. So I do tend to work with 24-point sync, okay? And mixer metronome track, originally this will come at like this, so you want to put it to a mixer track should in case the metronome is disturbing you. So you see now, let's where did we put that? Options, mixer track 10. Okay. Let's off all of this. As you can see, you can be able to reduce the volume of the mixer, of the metronome rather. Yeah, and you can be able to bounce it alongside your project as a click track to guide your artist, or if you want to send out stems to another engineer, okay? So that is also helpful, guys. What else do we have? Okay, then we have general settings, guys. This, you can copy the settings over here, okay? This is what I generally do tend to use, guys. Maximum undo level is 100, okay? You can check this out. This is settings that I tend to use, guys. File, and this is where you configure your samples. Should it be you have samples on your laptop, on your hard drive, you want to configure them, this is where you get to put them, guys. Okay, you configure samples here, guys. And theme, you can change the theme, like this preset that I use. As you can see, the theme has changed now. Okay, so what else do we have? Projects is where you set the projects data and all of that, set a folder and all of that, guys. So info, this is where you configure the project's info, which is also the metadata of the track. Okay, the title, the author, let's say title, let's say FL tutorial, author, sound tunes, comments. This is a beginner friendly tutorial. This is a beginner friendly tutorial. Okay, genre, let's say just put out anything, guys. It depends on your genre, Afro, hip hop, rap. But to me, I'll use tutorials as a genre for this. Debug and about. This is where you get to FL Studio, all of that, guys. So I guess this is all that you need to know about FL Studio, guys. As someone who is starting out, definitely this is basically all you need to know. Okay, as time goes on, guys, I'll come up with more videos where you can be able to learn more about FL Studio. Okay, so if you have any question, guys, or any comment or any video idea that you want me to talk on, you can drop them or in the comment section down below, guys. And also make sure you subscribe, like, guys, as this channel is just coming up. Okay, and I'll try my best to make sure I put out quality and educational videos to help each and every one of you guys out there. Okay, so with no further ado, guys, stay tuned and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.